programming knowledge. So in this video we are going to see how to send an HTTP request and then parse the response and update the UI accordingly. So first let's remove all the extra code that we have over here. We don't need the floating action button. Okay, we don't need a body for now. We'll create a new body, and we don't need this screen 2, so I'll delete the screen 2, and then I need to remove it from my home app if I have it. Yes, so I need to remove it from here. I also need to remove it from here. Okay, I need to remove the import from here also. Okay, so let's save everything, do a restart, and yes, so we have our empty screen. So now to send an HTTP request, if you don't know what is an HTTP request, you can follow this link and read about it. They have very excellent documentation. Now to send an HTTP request from a Flutter app, we need a third party package, and the most popular package is HTTP. You can see over here it has 1404 likes, 110 pub points and 100% popularity. Means this is most preferred by Flutter developers. Another alternative can be Dio. Okay, so Dio also has 99% popularity. It is made by some flutterchina.club. Okay, so let's install Flutter. We will go in this installing section, and then inside our dependencies we simply need to add this. So we find our dependencies in pubspec.yaml. Over here below this toast or below that Cupertino icons, we can paste anywhere. Save, and then since I am using VS Code, it will automatically start flutter pubget. Okay, so that means it is importing this dependency to our project, so that will take a minute. Now after that let's see which API we are going to call from our app. Okay, so I'll be using this Kanye.rest API. It is a free REST API for random Kanye West quotes. Okay, so since it is free, it is accessible to everyone and everyone can try the same. So now over here you can see it says get, and get is nothing but a type of an HTTP request. Okay, so what get basically does, it fetches data from this server, means the link followed by the get request. Okay, so I'll for now copy this link. Okay, and if I paste it in my browser, then that is also ultimately a get request only. So let's see what is the response of this get request. So over here doing this get request, we get a quote, I am the best. And now if I refresh this, it should change. People always tell, and then there are stuff. Okay, so let's try implementing this in our app. So we now have the HTTP package in our app. So let's try calling this. First we need to import HTTP. Import HTTP. Okay, so it is not showing over here. That means it has not installed correctly. I need to run pubget again. So I'll do that. We have a icon over here in VS Code. Okay, so once that is done, now over here if I type import then HTTP, so we can see http/http dot. Now I am not simply gonna call all the methods. I'll use a namespace, that means a reference to this package as HTTP. Means everything inside this package will be used under this namespace. Okay, so you'll understand what I'm trying to say when I implement this. Okay, so now let's try calling this REST API. So for that, in our class, I'll simply create a future. I have a video on what is a future and what is its use in Flutter. Now since over here we are interacting with the internet, we don't know how much time it will take, so that is the reason we can't immediately send the response. We need to wait for the interaction with the internet to finish, and then we will send a response. And for the same I am using a future. Okay, a future, and that future should return a string. That string will be nothing but this followed by quote. Okay, and then I'll call the name the method get Kanye. Okay, simple name. Now it needs to be async since we are dealing with future. Okay, now a good practice is that whenever you interact with futures, we need to surround whenever we interact with the internet, we need to surround it with a try and catch, so that when there is error it will not simply show a red screen on your mobile app, but give some customized message which improves the user experience. So I'll simply surround it with a try catch, and then over here you can print t. If you are making a real app, most probably you will wanna show a toast. So that is done. Now let's finally call this request. So I'll copy this URL that I have over here. Now to call a get request means after every request we get a response. Okay, so to store a response I'll create a response variable. Okay, and then now let's call the get request. Let's call this get request. Okay, so for that I'll simply write http, which is the namespace we used over here, dot get. So this dot get is refers to this get. Means over here in the documentation it says that we need to use a get request, and that is why I am using a get request over here. Now the URL we copied right now, https api.kanye.rest. Okay, so now we are getting a response. Okay, so now if I hover over this get, you can see it sends a future of response. Okay, so that means as I said, it will take indefinite amount of time to interact with the internet. We can't assume the time, so that is why it is a future, and we need to wait until we get some response. And as we have discussed in our Dart tutorial, to wait for the response we use the await keyword, and since we are using await here, we need to have a async keyword over here. Okay, so now once this command is executed, that means this command will take some time since we are using await. That means the controller which runs the code will not proceed until this statement is completely executed. So once this is done, then that means that this response has the response, means this response which we will get from this API. Okay, so this response variable will now have this response. So before updating the UI, let's try simply printing it to check that everything is working fine. Now if you would be knowing about REST APIs, you would know that response doesn't only have this thing, this is the body, but it also has different things like the headers and other stuffs. Okay, so this part where we have the actual response from the API, that is the body. Okay, so now let's get the body. So instead of getting, let's simply print the body to see if we have something or not. So response dot body. Now I hope everything is clear. Okay, so let's save this. Now inside the build method, I'll simply call get Kanye. I'll restart. And you can see it took a second or two, and then after that we have the response. Quote you took, you can't look at a glass half full or empty if it's overflowing. Okay, now if I'll save it again, that means I will do a refresh. Since on the refresh the build method is is executed again, so this get Kanye method will be called again, and we get a response. Okay, so now since we have a response, let's try updating our UI. Okay, so over here this future needs to return a string. So now over here my requirement is only this string, but right now the body is printing this entire string. Okay, so the body is in string format, but if you look closely or you look in the browser, it is actually a map which has a key and the value which we are interested in. So to convert a string back to a map, we need to use a dart package, and so for that we will import that dart package, and that is called convert. So this convert package allows you to convert a string to any other object, or a object to a string. Okay, so let's see how that happens. I'll simply write where result is equal to JSON. Now this JSON is inside this dart.convert JSON.decode. Okay, so now string is the encoded thing. If we convert a map to a string, then the string is considered as an encoded, as the encoded output of that JSON value. Okay, so since we have the string, we need to decode, we need to go back, and over here I'll write response.body, and then instead of printing this, I'll print result, and then the key that we have over here, that is quote. So simply paste it over here, format it, and do a restart. Okay, so now you see we only get the quote part. Means instead of getting this entire thing as a string, we have decoded it to a map, and then we are printing the value for this key. Okay, and now we want to return the same thing, so I'll simply change this to return, and now this get Kanye will return something. So let's wait for that to return. So then that means this method is called, and when it finally returns, then we go to this then method. So now the string sent over here is stored in this value. Okay, so let's create another variable, string quote, and then over here I'll save the value to quote. Okay, we don't need a semicolon over here. So now once this get Kanye returns something, it is stored in this quote thing. So now let's simply print the quote thing. So over here I'll write body, the body is in center, and the center has a child which is a text widget, and the text displays nothing but the quote. So now let's do a hot restart and see what happens. And you can see it gives us an error, and that is because, as I said, interacting with internet takes time, but the execution doesn't stop over here, and it keeps on running, it keeps executing. So one solution would be to add an await over here. Okay, and the other solution is, because I am not adding await over here because that is not a standard practice in, if you do a real world project, most probably all your interactions with the internet will be in a separate file. So what I'll do is, over here I'll add a conditional statement. So if this quote is null, so in that time I want you to show a circular progress indicator, and once this quote is not null, then the quote should be printed. So now what happens is that for the first time it will be null, and then this circular progress indicator will keep on working. Now even after we get the value, this will not update. And to update the screen, as we have discussed earlier, we need to call the set state method. So over here I'll write set state, and then inside this the value means, okay, so everything is fine. Let's restart. Let's do a full restart. Okay, so I think my internet speed is very fast, that's why we are not able to see the progress indicator thing. Okay, no, yes, so the progress indicator is at the top. So instead of conditional rendering over here, I'll do it inside the center widget. So now let's see. So you can see the circular progress indicator, and as soon as we get the value gets updated. Okay, and now you can see it will keep on updating, it is not stopping, and that is because we have a error in our program. Okay, so the reason that it keeps on updating, it is not stopping, is that we are calling set state inside the build method. So this is a very common mistake that people do, that is calling set state method inside the build method. So what set state does is it re-renders the build method. So if the set state is called, it will re-render the build method, and now while rendering it will again encounter set state, so it will again start re-rendering. So this will go to an infinite loop. Okay, so the way to fix this is to use an if else. Okay, so I'll write bool quote controller is equal to false. So now this method should run only if the quote controller is false. Okay, otherwise this shouldn't run. And now let's update the value of quote controller to true. Okay, so this means that the first time when the value of quote controller is false, this method will run, and as soon as this runs, this if condition runs, the quote controller's value is true. So even though the set state is called and the build method starts rendering, this if condition will become false and all this code will not get executed. It will simply render this return statement. Okay, so I hope everything is clear. Let's do a full restart. And you can see it updated only once. Okay, so yes, now after this will not update, and it is not updating. So I hope you understood what I did over here, and you understood how to call a HTTP request, how to parse the response over here, and then update the UI accordingly. Update the UI always has set state in it. So I hope all the concepts are clear. Now this is one Kanye.rest which you can try. Another one which I also use, which is also free, is Chuck Norris. So over here also you can call this request, and you will get you will not only get a quote, you will get multiple things. You will get an URL for the image. Okay, you will get an ID, which you, if you have any idea about databases, will understand that every value has a ID. URL, which will be URL for this quote, and then a value which is the actual quote. So you can also try this if you want to. Okay, so I hope everything was clear. Thank you.